let us begin. I haven't seen this show before. I'll be making a compilation of this, of my reactions and shit, for a main channel video. There is a YouTuber that I watch who is into this series, and it was like something I grew up with, and I read somewhere that apparently it became really popular in recent years for memes and stuff. So I thought I'd check it out. It looks really cute and silly and fun and whimsical and just right up my alley. Phone, can you not? Anyways. This reminds me of when I first watched... Oh my god. Wait. Randus? Randus? What are you... This is not Petscop. There's another Randus over there. Randus. This is like the old Mr. Men. Because it looks very like old school, but it looks fun. So let's get back to it. Cute.
It was a warm, sunny morning.
This even...
In his small house at the other side of the wood, Mr. Tickle... Did you? Oh, well, there is. Tickles are small and round, and they have arms that stretch and stretch and stretch. Extraordinarily long arms. Mr. Tickle was fast asleep. He was having a dream. It must have been a very funny dream, because it made him laugh out loud. And that woke him up. He sat up in bed, stretched his extraordinarily long arms, and yawned an enormous yawn.
Yeah, this reminds me of the old Moomin series. I never watched further than the first episode, but like, it just reminds me a lot of when I watched that back when the Sky collaboration was coming around, and I was like, I want to see what I'm getting myself into. So I was like, yeah, I should probably watch it. I only watched the first episode, and I didn't like the first episode very much because it pissed me off, like, really bad. But, who knows how long this will last. Oh, it's like 7 minutes. It's not bad. I said episodes 1 through 10, so I guess I'm watching 10 videos? I don't know. We'll see.
Mr. Tickle felt hungry, so do you know what he did? He reached out one of his extraordinarily long arms.
That reminds me of the SpongeBob thing. Like, there was... I don't remember what episode it was, where he was doing the exact same, like, wiggly arms thing. I don't remember... If I find out what episode that was, I'll include, like, a gif of it or something, because that's what it reminds me of, and that thought is not gonna leave my brain. He looks like a silly little guy, though.
Opened the bedroom door, reached down the stairs, opened the kitchen door, reached into the kitchen cupboard, opened the biscuit tin, took out a biscuit, brought it back upstairs, and back to Mr. Tickle. As you can see, it's very useful indeed, having arms as long as Mr. Tickle's. Mr. Tickle munched his biscuit. He looked out of the window. Today looks very much like tickling day, he thought to himself. So,
Like a tickling day. Okay, that's not to make fun of the accent or anything, but like this, I think this is like an older cartoon. Let's see. They're all around 6 or 7 minutes. We're gonna start with Mr. Men Little Miss. Actually, no. We're gonna go until episode 10, like or the 10th one. This is the first one. We'll get into more next time, I guess.
Later that morning, after Mr. Tickle had made his bed and cooked his breakfast, he set off through the wood. As he walked along...
Oh my god! Oh my god! You know what he reminds me of with those long-ass arms and those 30 little feet? The janitor from Little Nightmares. He reminds me of the janitor from Little Nightmares. Fucking Roger. Yes, if you didn't know his name, the janitor from Little Nightmares, he has a name. And his name is Roger. So, yeah.
His eyes very wide open, looking for somebody to tickle. Looking for anybody to tickle. Eventually, Mr. Tickle came to a school. There was nobody about. So, reaching up his extraordinarily long arms to a high window ledge, Mr. Tickle pulled himself up and peeked in through the open window. Inside, he could see a classroom. There were children sitting at their desks and a teacher writing on the blackboard. Mr. Tickle reached in through the window with that extraordinarily long arm of his, went up behind a little boy called Peter, and tickled him on the back of his neck. Peter giggled out loud. "Stop that giggling at once," said the teacher sternly. Mr. Tickle waited a minute.
It reminds me of the therapist guy from Sally Face. Like, the fake one that they hired after the real one died. His mustache moving the same way. Sorry, I keep stopping this. It's just so many little things keep reminding me of stuff, and it's just making me, like, it's amusing me ever so greatly. Anyway.
Then reached in through the window again. Mr. Tickle's extraordinarily long arm went right up to the teacher, paused, and then tickled. The teacher jumped in the air and turned round very quickly to see who was there. But there was nobody there. Mr. Tickle grinned, a mischievous grin. He waited another minute and then tickled the teacher again. This time he kept on tickling, until soon the teacher was laughing out loud and saying, "Oh, stop it! Stop it, over! Stop it over and over and over again." All the children were laughing too at such a funny sight. There was a terrible pandemonium. Eventually, Mr. Tickle thought he'd had enough fun. So he gave the teacher one more tickle for luck, and very quietly brought his arm back through the open window. Chuckling to himself, he jumped down from the window, leaving the poor teacher to explain. Then Mr. Tickle went to town.
Terrible freeze frame.
And what a day Mr. Tickle had. He tickled the policeman on traffic duty at the crossroads in the middle of the town. It caused an enormous traffic jam. He tickled the greengrocer just as he was piling apples neatly in his shop window. The greengrocer fell over backwards, and the Apples rolled all over the shop. There were apples everywhere.
It's such a waste of
The
apples.
guard was about to wave his flag for the train to leave. As he lifted his arm in the air, Mr. Tickle tickled him. And every time he tried to wave his flag, Mr. Tickle tickled him. Tickled him again.
Why is the finger wiggling like that? Why is it wiggling like that? Also, looks like a penis.
Until the train was 10 minutes late, and all the passengers were absolutely furious. That day, Mr. Tickle tickled everybody. He tickled the doctor. He tickled the butcher.
I don't like. Why is it stopping?
Who dropped all his letters into a puddle.
Oh no!
Then Mr. Tickle went home.
I wanted to do more than just 10 episodes because these are so short.
Sitting in his armchair in his small house at the other side of the wood, he laughed and laughed and laughed every time he thought about all the people he'd tickled. Oh, dear. Oh,
That was so cute. Cute. Cute, cute. Oh my god! He reminds me. I forgot this character's name, but he not this guy. But, this guy, like, with his nose. It reminds me of the crocodile from Maisie. I forgot what his name is. I'll put him on the screen. I need to do some Googling after this. I swear to fucking God. But this also he's green, so the resemblance. Anyways. What is it? He's just gonna walk off with the O. And see.
Mr. Nosey liked to know about everything that was going on. He was always poking his nose into other people's business.
I mean, it's kind of hard not to with that kind of nose.
If he came upon a locked door, couldn't resist looking through the keyhole to see why the door had been locked. Mr. Nosey was the sort of person who, if he found an unopened letter addressed to somebody else, would simply have to open it to find out what was inside. Mr. Nosey was the sort of person who, if he was sitting reading his paper on a train, would much rather read the paper of the person sitting next to him. Naturally, as you might well imagine, Mr. Nosey was not very popular. People did not like the way in which Mr. Nosey would peek and pry into their affairs. They did not like it at all. But did that stop Mr. Nosey peeking and prying?
Nope.
It did not.
How is he able to?
Mr. Nosey lived in a funny, tall, thin house in a place called Tittletown. The people of Tittletown decided that Mr. Nosey was becoming much too nosy. And so they held a meeting to discuss what to do about it. We must find some way of stopping his being so nosy.
What is that voice?
Town carpenter. That's right, said Mrs. Washer, who ran the Tittletown laundry. He needs to be taught a lesson. If only we could think of a way to stop him poking his nose into everything, said Mr. Brush. And then a small smile spread over his face. Listen, he said, grinning.
To show that he's grinning, they just make the mustache grin. It's cute.
The following morning, Mr. Nosey was out walking along Tittletown High Street when he heard somebody whistling behind one of the closed doors. I wonder what's going on here, he thought to himself. Tiptoeing up to the door, quietly opened it and peeped in. Splash!
Why would you leave your door unlocked? You. It's like just asking for a robbery, to be honest.
A very wet paintbrush, right on the end of Mr. Nosey's nose, covering it with bright red paint. Oh dear, I am so sorry, said Mr. Brush, who was painting the inside of the door. Poor Mr. Nosey had to go straight home and try to remove the red paint, which was very difficult and rather painful. Mr. Brush chuckled to himself. The plan had begun.
His nose looks like a
Following day,
penis.
Mr. Nosey was walking past the laundry when he heard someone laughing on the other side of the wall. I wonder what's going on here, he thought to himself. And standing on tiptoe, he looked over the wall. Snap! Went a clothes peg right on the end of Mr. Nosey's nose. Oh dear! Oh, I am sorry.
Oh, they're planning this
Hanging up
shit.
clothes on the washing line on the other side of the wall. Poor Mr. Nosey removed the clothes peg and went off down the street feeling extremely sorry for himself and for his poor red nose. Mrs. Washer chuckled to herself. The plan was working.
Yep.
The next day, Mr. Nosey was going past a fence when he heard hammering. I wonder what's going on here, he thought to himself. Creeping very quietly to the end of the fence, he peeped round. Bang! Went a hammer right on the end of Mr. Nosey's nose. Oh dear. Oh, I am sorry.
What was that laugh?
He was nailing up a loose plank in the fence. Poor Mr. Nosey had to go home immediately and bandage his poor red sore nose. Mr. Chips grinned a broad grin. The plan was working very well indeed. The following day, Mr. Nosey was walking in the woods when he heard someone sawing wood. I wonder what's going on here, he thought to himself. He crept up behind a tree. He was just about to peer out from behind the tree when it suddenly occurred to him that if he did, something very nasty might happen to his nose. And so he went on his way without being nosy.
He knew he's getting smarter.
Behind the tree, with a saw raised in his hand, stood Mr. Herd the farmer. When he saw that Mr. Nosey had gone on his way without being nosy, he laughed and laughed and laughed. The plan had worked. Mr. Herd hurried off into Tittletown to tell everybody. really Edward. Because after that, Mr. Nosey stopped being nosy and soon became very good friends with everybody in town.
Oh, that's good.
Really is the end of the story. Except to say that if you were ever tempted to be as nosy as Mr. Nosey used to be, you'd better expect one thing. A very sore nose.
Why is it wiggling like that? The laughing, what the fuck is this? I needed to get a clip of that. The woman and everything. Alright, we can go on to the next one. He's so cute! He reminds me of the flip note. I don't know if anybody has seen that, like back in the old Flipnote Hatena days or Flipnote Studio. There were Flipnotes that came with the app. There's one where there's like a little guy and he's like scratching his head and then like his fuzz is coming off. That's what this guy reminds me of. I need to see if I can find a picture for the highlight, but that's what he reminds me of.
This is Coldland, which is a country somewhere near the North Pole. The weather in Coldland is winter all the time. When it isn't snowing, it's freezing. And when it isn't freezing, it's snowing. So you can imagine how cold it is. Because it's so cold in Coldland, everybody who lives there is cold as well.
I mean, it's literally called Coldland.
Everybody there has a red nose. And people in Coldland aren't the only ones with red noses.
Cute!
In Coldland, you can even see red-nosed elephants. And what you hear most of the time in
That's so
Coldland
cute.
is a noise that sounds like this. Achoo! The sound of the sneeze is very common indeed in Coldland, which is not very surprising, is it? This is the story of Mr. Sneeze, who lived in a small snow-covered cottage in Shivertown, the capital of Coldland. Every morning, Mr. Sneeze woke up, sneezed, got up, sneezed, got dressed, sneezed, went downstairs, sneezed, ate his
This
breakfast,
reminds me.
sneezed.
Okay, I'm sorry. I keep pausing. But it reminds me of that one news video of the girl that could not stop sneezing. That's what this reminds me of.
And went to work, still sneezing. Achoo! I don't like this sneezing all the time. Achoo! Himself every day. Achoo! Until one day he decided to leave Coldland and try to find a cure for the sneezing. Achoo! Achoo!
Did he just go in circles?
He walked and sneezed, walked his way across Coldland, and then he sneezed and walked and sneezed for days and days until Coldland was far by. As he walked away from Coldland, he noticed that there was less and less snow.
That would make sense.
He walked so far that there was no snow at all. And as he walked, he noticed something else. He wasn't walking and sneezing. He was walking and walking. For the first time in his life, he wasn't sneezing. Not at all, not a bit, not even the tiniest tissue. I wonder why I'm not sneezing, he thought to himself. But he must have thought his thought out loud to himself, because a voice behind him replied, "You're not sneezing because you haven't got a cold." Mr. Sneeze jumped, turned, and there behind him stood a wise old wizard. "What's a cold?" asked Mr. Sneeze. "A cold is what you catch when you're too cold, said the wise old wizard. Oh, said Mr. Sneeze.
Oh.
I have a country called Cold Land, where everybody's too cold all the time. Nonsense, snorted the wizard. Can't be too cold all the time, because of the sun. He pointed to the sun, which was smiling in the sky. But we don't have any sun in Cold Land, said Mr. Sneeze. No sun, exclaimed the wizard. How extremely extraordinarily extraordinary. We'd better do something about that, then. Hadn't we? Yes, agreed Mr. Sneeze, not quite knowing what the wizard was talking about.
It won't be cold land anymore, though.
It's called, what is it? Cold Land? Asked the wizard. Oh, it's miles and miles and miles away, replied Mr. Sneeze. In which direction?
Okay.
Sneeze pointed. Oh, take long, said the wizard, who then waved his wand and muttered some magic words, which wouldn't be magic if you knew what they were. Whatever those magic words were, they were. Or you could say sneeze. Both the wizard and Mr. Sneeze were transported to Shivertown, which you will remember is the capital of Cold Land. As you
Okay, so I'm ready through like 14 episodes, and then we'll get into Mr. Menlittleness.
replied Mr. Sneeze, who started sneezing again. Achoo! Cold Land certainly needs some sunshine, said the wizard. That's going to take some rather special magic.
I like that the mustaches just go up and down.
Rapidly turning into a snowman. Now, I'm going to say some magic word.
Looks like the mustache is about to fall off his face.
3 times.
Or like it's fake.
Immediately afterwards. Wise old wizard then held up his magic wand and muttered some magic words.
Whoa!
Wouldn't be magic if you knew what they were. Achoo, 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 sneezed Mr. Sneeze. And quite suddenly, as if by magic, which indeed it was, the sun came out from behind the big black clouds, and it stopped snowing. There now, said the wizard. That should stop the sneezing.
And the snow immediately melted. Damn.
More magic words, and without waiting even to say goodbye, he disappeared. Mr. Sneeze just stood there in the sunshine, watching the snow begin to melt. After that, the sun shone every day, and today Cold Land isn't anything like it used to be. You can't see red-nosed dogs chasing red-nosed cats, chasing red-nosed mice anymore. These days, the sound of the sneeze is a very uncommon sound indeed. But even Mr. Sneeze doesn't sneeze anymore. And that isn't the only thing different about Mr. Sneeze, as he discovered himself when he looked in the mirror one morning. Can you see what was different about Mr. Sneeze?
The nose. Cute. Oh. Excuse me, pardon me. Yeah. Oh my god!
This is the sad story of Mr. Bump.
He looks like Mr. Tinklebum with short arms.
Just could not help having little accidents. If there was something for Mr. Bump to bump into, he'd bump into it all right.
He's clumsy like me.
Street in your town. And if there happened to be something to bump into down that street,
Mr. Bump is clumsy like me.
Bump
Why is it jiggling? That's not how that works.
He lived in an extremely nice home. But even there, he couldn't help having those little accidents.
I wouldn't wouldn't be surprised if he ended up setting his house on fire on accident.
For instance, one morning when Mr. Bump went outside his house, he noticed that the chimney pot had come loose in a storm the night before. I must fix that before it falls off, thought Mr. Bump to himself. And he hurried off to his garden shed to fetch a ladder.
It's Brandis again. I need to stop talking about Petscop and watch. What the fuck was that sound? It just sounded like people were like doing a hanky panky or something.
To fetch a ladder.
What?
Ladder.
What?
Mr. Bump walked up the garden path with the ladder on his shoulder. Turned the corner of the garden path. Crash went the living room window.
Oh no!
And he turned to see what had happened. Crash went the kitchen window behind him. Dear, thought Mr. Bump again. And he rested the ladder against the wall of the house so that he could climb up onto the roof to mend the chimney pot. Crash went the bedroom window. So you can see how Mr. Bump had his little accidents. Mr. Bump had had many jobs, but somehow they never seemed to last very long.
Aww.
As soon as anything got lost, or broken, splintered, chipped, or snapped, or cracked, or tore, or burst, wrenched, crunched, or split, or slit. Guess who got the blame? For instance, when Mr. Bump worked on a farm. He tripped over the farm dog and spilt the milk.
Oh no.
Lapped it up. For instance, when Mr. Bump was a postman, he got his hand stuck in the pillar box. They had to fetch the fire brigade. Come and set him free. For instance, when Mr. Bump was a carpenter, he found that when he was hammering nails, he hammered his thumb most of the time, and the nail hardly at all. In order to recover
Poor guy.
from rather unfortunate happenings, Mr. Bump decided to go away for a holiday. There, he could think about what sort of job he could do where he wouldn't be such a nuisance to everybody. So, he set off to the station to catch a train to the seaside. While Mr. Bump was on holiday, several things happened. For instance, he fell off a boat into the sea, and the lifeboat had to come and rescue him. For instance, one day when he was quietly walking along the beach, minding his own business, he got his foot stuck in a bucket.
Uh-oh.
And as he couldn't get it off, he had to hop round with it on his foot for hours. And as he hopped along the beach, he hopped straight into a large hole that somebody had dug. He had to stay there all night because he couldn't climb out on his own. However, despite all these little accidents, Mr. Bump enjoyed his holiday. And while he was there, he had a splendid idea about what sort of a job he should do. It was quite
You get that coin, Mr. Bump.
absolutely splendid idea. And now, Mr. Bump works happily for Mr. Barley, the farmer. Mr. Barley has rather large apple orchard on his farm, and that where Mr. Bump works. Mr. Bump's job is picking apples. But he doesn't use a ladder to climb up the tree to pick the apples, like other apple pickers. Oh, no. Oh, Mr. Bump has a much better way of picking apples than that. He just walks about. And before long, Mr. Bump, being Mr. Bump, walks into a tree. Down falls an apple. And Mr. Bump catches it. This makes the job of picking apples much easier. Mr. Bump is very pleased about his new job, and Mr. Bow is very pleased about his new apple picker. So, you see, the story of Mr. Bump isn't such a sad story after all, is it?
That's good. Get that bread, King. Mr. Silly, that's me. I like him already. It's Randus, guys. It's Randus.
Lives in Nonsense Land, which is a very funny place to live. You see, in Nonsense Land, everything is as silly as it can be. In Nonsense Land, the trees are red, and the grass is blue. Isn't that silly? In Nonsense Land, dogs wear hats.
Whoa.
And do you know how birds fly in Nonsense Land? No, they don't fly forward. Really is a very
They
silly
fly
place.
backwards. That's so
Which of course
funny.
is why Mr. Silly lives there. Mr. Silly
They go in reverse.
lives in quite the silliest looking house you've ever seen in your whole life. Have you ever seen a sillier looking house than this?
How is that top right section still up there? Why is the door open like that? It's not a doggy door.
Now, this particular story is all about the Nonsense Cup. You see, in Nonsense Land each year they hold a competition. And the cup is awarded to whoever has the silliest idea of the year. Mr. Silly had never won the cup, but each night, lying in his bed, he dreamed about winning it. In order to win the Nonsense Cup, Mr. Silly realized that he would have to think up something remarkably silly. He pondered over the problem one morning at breakfast. Incidentally, you may be interested to know what Mr. Silly was having for breakfast. He was having a cup of coffee, into which he put a spoonful of marmalade.
Ew.
After that, he had a cornflake sandwich. And to finish, he had a boiled egg. But being Mr. Silly, he had the shell as well. Isn't that a
Ew.
silly breakfast? Anyway, this particular breakfast time, Mr. Silly was
I mean, I
thinking
respect the grind,
how
I
to win
guess.
that cup. He remembered 2 years ago when Mr.
I didn't mean to freeze on that frame. But Bros Mr. Silly's top hat. That hat is tall enough to rival Professor Herschel Layton's top hat. I need them to duel over who has the tallest hat.
Foolish won the cup.
Epic rap
Mr.
battles of
Foolish,
history
who was a friend
style.
of Mr. Silly's, had won the cup by inventing a car. It was quite a normal car, apart from one thing. Isn't that silly? Mr. Silly thought and thought He even had another cup of coffee with marmalade. That didn't help either.
Ew.
He decided to take a walk. On his walk, Mr. Silly met a chicken wearing Wellington boots and carrying an umbrella. Wouldn't it be silly if you didn't wear Wellington boots and carry an umbrella? He said to the chicken. Meow, said the chicken. Because animals in Nonsense Land don't make the same noises as they do in your country. It was in the
Interesting.
middle of Mr. Silly's walk that he had his idea. It was a beautifully silly idea. Quite the silliest idea he'd ever had. He hurried into town and bought himself a pot of paint and a paintbrush.
Already
Huge
almost an
crowd
hour?
assembled in the city square
Holy
to see who
shit.
was going to win the cup. The king of Nonsense Land mounted the specially built platform. One of the silliest ideas of the year is by Mr. Muddle. The farmer.
Penis nose.
He has managed to grow
Penis
of all
nose.
things, oh, excuse me. A square apple. The crowd clapped as the square apple was
Even
held
the
up by
Minecraft apples aren't square. Well,
He felt sure that he was going to win. However, said the king, and Mr. Muddle's face fell, we have had an even sillier idea entered by Mrs. Nincompoop. It was a teapot, quite the silliest teapot there had ever been. The crowd broke into thunderous applause. I therefore have great pleasure, announced the king, in presenting the Nonsense Cup to... Just then he looked up and stopped in astonishment. Now, in the middle of the square, there is a tree. It's always been there. And it was at this tree that the king was looking in astonishment. What, he cried, has happened to that tree? Everybody turned to look. The tree had green leaves. Bright green leaves. Not red leaves, like all the trees in Nonsense Land, but green. There was a gasp from the crowd. It was me, piped up Mr. Silly. I painted all the leaves green last night when you were all asleep. A green tree, exclaimed the king. Who ever heard of a green tree? A green tree, shouted the crowd. How silly! And they started to applaud wildly. Mr. Silly smiled modestly. The king held up his hand. I think, he said, that this is the silliest idea I have ever heard of. And therefore, I award the Nonsense Cup to Mr. What did he say his name was? To Mr. Silly. The crowd cheered and cheered. Mr. Silly went big with pride. And a bird, perched high up in the branches of the silly green tree, looked down. Woof, it said, and flew off, backwards.
that was silly. That's funny, actually. The birds fly backwards and shit. Looks like Honorary Moomin. But different. Oh, I've heard of this guy, Mr. Uppity.
Mr. Uppity was one of the rudest people in the world, if not the rudest. He was rude to anybody and everybody. So, of course, in Big Town, which is where he lived, he had no friends at all. Not
Damn.
Lord Uppity, they used to call him, and he certainly looked it. Now, as well as being rude, Mr. Uppity was also rich. Very rich. One of the richest people in the world, if not the richest. He had the largest, longest limousine in Big Town. He had the largest, longest garden in Big Town. He had, on the top of a hill in the middle of Big Town, the most enormous house. The biggest house in Big Town. And there he lived, all alone, miserable old Uppity. One day, Mr. Uppity was walking in the gardens of his enormous house, when suddenly he heard a voice. "Hello," said the voice. Mr. Uppity looked, and there, in one of his hundreds of flower beds, was a goblin. "Are you not going to say hello to me?" said the goblin. "Go away," said Mr. Uppity rudely. "Oh,
Damn.
you must be," said the goblin. "You must be Mr. Uppity, who's rude to everybody." Sniffed Mr. Uppity rudely. "Well, I know somebody who wants to meet you," said the goblin, and he skipped off, the way goblins do. Mr. Uppity's curiosity got the better of him. He followed. "In there," said the goblin, pointing at a small hole in a tree. "Don't be silly," snorted Mr. Uppity. "Oh, I'm not being silly," said the goblin. "Yes, you are," snapped Mr. Uppity. "I can't possibly get in there." Smiled the goblin. And then he said a magic word, known only to goblins, which sounded like wobbling, something like that. Suddenly, Mr. Uppity started shrinking. He shrank and he shrank until he was exactly the same size as the goblin. "Show me back to my proper size at once," spluttered Mr. Uppity in a rage. "I shan't," gloomed the goblin. And so saying, the goblin climbed through the hole into the tree. Poor Mr. Uppity
Not even climbing, he just yeeted himself in the hole.
Inside the tree, there was a staircase going down and down.
What is this, Alice in Wonderland?
The kingdom of the goblins. "I demand to be taken immediately."
Wait.
Whoever is in
They're harvest sprites. From Harvest Moon, or nature sprites, or whatever the fuck. The realization is so funny.
said Mr. Uppity angrily. "So you shall. So you shall," gloomed the goblin. And he led Mr. Uppity through the streets of the kingdom of the goblins until they came to a palace. The goblin and Mr. Uppity passed through the gates and into a courtyard and through some more gates and along a long corridor and through some large gold doors and into a huge room. And there, sitting on a gold throne, was the king of the goblins. "Your Majesty," announced the goblin, bowing low, "may I present Mr. Uppity?" "Ah," said the king. "So you're the fellow..."
Luigi? Why are you royalty?
Who goes about being rude to everybody, doesn't have any friends. "Rubbish," said Mr. Uppity rudely. "I can see that what I've heard is true," said the king, looking at the indignant Mr. Uppity. "You're much too puffed up with your own importance. Therefore," he continued, "I'm going to allow you to be turned back to your proper size. But when you get back to Big Town, if you're rude to anybody at all, you will immediately shrink to the size you are now. You understand?" The goblin then took Mr. Uppity back through the kingdom of the goblins, and up the staircase, and out of the tree at the bottom of Mr. Uppity's garden. The goblin looked at Mr. Uppity and said something which sounded like "Googly-googly-googly," and Mr. Uppity grew and grew back to his original size. "Now, you remember what the king said," warned the goblin. "Don't you be so uppity in future." Mr. Uppity marched off furiously up to his enormous house. Following day, Mr. Uppity was out walking through the streets of Big Town. Suddenly, he came across a little boy playing with a ball. "Get out of my way," snapped Mr. Uppity rudely. But as soon as he'd said it, you know what happened, don't you? Yes, Mr. Uppity shrank and shrank until he was no bigger than the ball the boy was playing with. "Oh dear," he gasped, and then he thought. "I'm sorry," he said to the boy. "What I meant to say was, please gotta get past." Immediately, Mr. Uppity grew to his original size, and the boy moved, and Mr. Uppity went on his way. Then he met an old lady carrying a large shopping basket.
Interesting.
"Excuse me," she said to Mr. Uppity. "Could you tell me the time, please?" "No," said Mr. Uppity rudely. But as soon as he'd said it, you know what happened, don't you?
He shrunk again.
"Oh dear," he gasped, and then he thought. "I'm sorry," he said to the old lady. What I meant to say was, it's 25 past 11. Immediately, Mr. Uppity grew to his original size, and the old lady thanked him, and Mr. Uppity went on his way. Then he went and bought a newspaper from a man standing on the corner of the main street in Big Town. He was just about to walk away when suddenly he stopped and thought. He turned back to the man and said, "Thank you." Thank you was a word Mr. Uppity had never used before. The man
Damn.
smile was something Mr. Uppity wasn't used to getting. Thank you was a word Mr. Uppity not only had never used before, but it was a word he'd never had said to him before. Mr. Uppity smiled. He felt happy. Happy was a feeling Mr. Uppity wasn't used to feeling. And he liked it. And do you know, from that day forward to this day backward, Mr. Uppity is a changed person. He's still the richest person in Big Town, perhaps the richest person in the world. But now he has lots of friends, and he smiles at them.
Good for him. We
Do
love.
you know which two words Mr. Uppity uses most of all these days?
We love a changed man. Mr. Small. This is so cute. Oh, barely at 53 minutes. Okay, we can keep going, I guess. Bro's so tiny.
Mr. Small was very small. He lived in a small house underneath a daisy at the bottom of Mr. Robinson's garden. It was a very nice house, although very tiny, and it suited Mr. Small very well indeed. He liked living there. Now, this story is all about the time Mr. Small decided to get a job. The trouble was, what sort of a job could Mr. Small do?
Good question.
There aren't that many small jobs. Mr. Small had thought about it for a long time, but hadn't had any ideas, not one. He was thinking about it now, while he was having lunch. He was having half a pea, 1 crumb, and a drop of lemonade. Mr. Small thought and thought while he was eating his big lunch, but it was no use. Thinking just made him thirsty. So he had another drop of lemonade. I know, he thought to himself. After lunch, I'll go and see Mr. Robinson and ask his advice. So after lunch,
Penis nose. No. No breaks.
Mr. Robinson's house at the top of the garden. It was quite a long walk for somebody as small as Mr. Small, and halfway there he stopped for a rest. He sat on a pebble, feeling quite out of breath. A worm crawled by and stopped. "Good afternoon, Mr. Small," said the worm. "Good afternoon, Walter," said Mr. Small to the worm, whom he knew quite well. "Out for a walk, are you?" asked Walter. "Going to see Mr. Robinson," replied Mr. Small. "Oh," said Walter the worm, and crawled off. Walter was a worm of very few words. After he'd rested for a while, Mr. Small set off again and walked all the rest of the way to Mr. Robinson's house without stopping once. When he got there, he climbed up the steps to Mr. Robinson's back door. He knocked at the door. Nobody heard him. The trouble was, you see, that if you're as small as Mr. Small, you don't have a very loud knock. Mr. Small looked up.
Yeah.
There, high above his head, was a doorbell. "How can I ring the bell when I can't reach it?" thought Mr. Small to himself. Just then, Mr. Small heard footsteps. It was the postman. The postman came to the door, posted his letters, and was just about to leave when he heard a voice. "Hello," said the voice. The postman looked down. "Hello," he said to Mr. Small. "Who are you?" "I'm Mr. Small," said Mr. Small. "Would you ring the bell for me?" "Of course I will," replied the postman in answer to Mr. Small's
Very polite
question. And reaching
postman.
out, he pressed the bell with his finger. Thank you, said Mr. Small. My pleasure, said the postman, and off he went. Mr. Small heard footsteps coming to the door. The door opened. Mr. Robinson looked out. That's funny, he said. Sure, I heard somebody ring the bell. He was about to shut the door when he heard a little voice. Hello, said the voice. Hello, Mr. Robinson. Mr. Robinson looked down and down. Hello, he said. What are you doing here? I've come to ask your advice, said Mr. Small to Mr. Robinson. Well,
He is quite small.
You better come in, have a talk. Mr. Small followed Mr. Robinson into the house, and perched on the arm of Mr. Robinson's favourite chair, he told him how he couldn't think of a job that he could do. Mr. Robinson sipped a cup of tea and listened. So you see, Mr. Small explained, how difficult it is. Yes, I can see that, said Mr. Robinson. But leave it to me.
Penis nose.
Mr. Robinson knew a
Fucking
lot.
crickets, go away.
Mr. Robinson knew somebody who worked in a restaurant and arranged for Mr. Small to work there, putting mustard into mustard pots. But Mr. Small kept falling into the pots and getting covered in mustard.
Oh
He
no.
left that job. Mr. Robinson knew somebody who worked in a sweet shop and arranged for Mr. Small to work there, serving sweets. But Mr. Small kept falling into the sweet jars, so he left that job.
Aw.
Mr. Robinson knew somebody who worked in a place where they made matches and arranged for Mr. Small to work there, packing matches into boxes. But Mr. Small kept getting shut in the boxes with the matches, so he
Aw.
left that job. Mr. Robinson knew somebody who worked on a farm and arranged for Mr. Small to work there, sorting out the brown eggs from the white eggs. But Mr. Small kept getting trapped by the eggs, so he left that job. What are we going to do with you? Mr. Robinson asked Mr. Small.
What are we to do with your penis nose, sir?
No, said Mr. Small in a small voice. I've got one more idea, said Mr. Robinson. I know somebody who writes stories for children. Perhaps you could work for him. So the following day, Mr. Robinson took Mr. Small to meet the man who wrote children's stories. Can I work for you? Mr. Small asked the man. Yes, you can, replied the man. Pass me that pencil and tell me all about the jobs you've been doing. And then I'll write a story about it. I'll call it Mr. Small. He added.
Is this about the
Here's a
writers?
story all about me, exclaimed Mr. Small. Yes, they will, replied the man. They'll like it very much. And you did, didn't you?
Indeed I did. It was very cute. I think I'll watch 2 more. Mr. Daydream. Cute.
This is a story about Mr. Daydream. You know what he looks like, don't you? Because you've seen him at the beginning.
Yes.
It's also a story about a little boy called Jack. You don't know what he looks like, so here's a picture of him.
Nice.
Now, Jack was a very well-behaved little boy. He always ate up his lunch. He always went to bed when he was told. He always said please and thank you. But Jack was a daydreamer. Whenever he was supposed to be thinking about something, he found himself thinking about something else.
Same, dude.
One day, Jack was at school. He was sitting at his desk, listening to the teacher talking about history. Suddenly, out of the corner of his eye, Jack saw something outside the window on the grass in front of the school. It was a small, cloud-shaped something. Jack couldn't believe his eyes. The figure looked at Jack, looking at him, smiled, and waved. Jack looked at his teacher, who was still talking. Then he got up, quietly, ever so quietly, and slipped out. He crossed the grass to the strange-looking, cloud-shaped figure. "Hello," he said. "Who are you?" "Oh, I'm Mr. Daydream," said the figure. "What's your name?" "Jack," said Jack. I'm going off on an adventure," Daydream said to Jack. "Would you like to come with me?" "Oh, yes, please," replied Jack. "Very well, then," said Mr. Daydream. And putting two fingers in his mouth, he let out the loudest whistle Jack had ever heard in his whole life. A huge bird swooped down out of the sky.
Holy
landed
shit, that
beside
is a big ass bird.
"Come on," said Mr. Daydream to Jack, and climbed onto the bird's back. Jack climbed on too. It was really an enormous bird, and there was plenty of room for both of them. "Hold on," said Mr. Daydream. Jack held on, tight. The huge bird flapped its huge wings, and suddenly they were high up in the air. They flew over fields and farms and towns and hills and trees and valleys until they were far, far away from Jack's school. It was very exciting. Mr. Daydream turned to Jack. "How would you like to go to Africa?" he shouted. They were traveling so fast now that Jack just nodded his head and held on even tighter. And suddenly, it seemed in no time at all, there below them was Africa. The bird landed in a jungle clearing. Jack and Mr. Daydream climbed off the bird's back. It was very hot. "Come on," said Mr. Daydream to Jack.
I mean, it's very
"Let's go
hot here
explore."
too, dude.
So off they set.
California
Pushing their way
summers are
through the jungle.
brutal.
Suddenly, in the middle of a clearing, they saw an elephant. "Hello, Mr. Daydream," trumpeted the elephant down its trunk. "Would you like a lift?" "Yes, please," replied Mr. Daydream. And the elephant reached out its trunk, picked him up, and then put him on his back. Then he reached out his trunk again, picked up Jack, and put him on his back. Very high. The elephant carried them through the jungle until they came to a river. Then he set them down on the ground, said, "Bye, bye," and went off into the jungle. "How are we going to cross the river?" Jack asked Mr. Daydream. "Perhaps I can be of assistance," said a particularly oily voice coming up from the river. They looked, and there was a crocodile.
Uh-oh.
"Use my back," suggested the crocodile. It was very helpful. They were halfway across the river on the crocodile.
I was expecting the crocodile to try
When
to
the
eat
crocodile
them.
grinned a rather nasty grin. All teeth and no smile. Then, flicking his enormous tail and shooting Jack and Mr. Daydream up into the air, the crocodile opened his horribly large mouth and waited. It was very frightening.
I knew it.
"Dear," gasped Jack, as he looked down at that enormous mouthful of teeth. "Oh, dear. Oh, help." Mr. Daydream, upside down beside him, put two fingers in his mouth and let out that very large whistle of his. Suddenly, just as the crocodile's mouth was about to go snap, the big bird swooped down out of the sky. Mr. Daydream and Jack landed right on the bird's back. "Phew," said Jack. "Foiled again," said the crocodile. "Well, I promised you an adventure, didn't I?" grinned Mr. Daydream. "You certainly did.
You definitely did.
And now," said Mr.
Although
Daydream,
that adventure nearly
"I
led
will
him
go
to
to
getting
Australia."
eaten.
It did. And Jack learned to throw a boomerang, so it always came back to him. "Now," said Mr. Daydream, "I think we'll go to the North Pole." They did. And Mr. Daydream fell right up to his middle in the snowdrift. "And now," said Mr. Daydream, "I think we'll go to the Wild West." And they did. And Mr. Daydream found a huge 10-gallon cowboy hat. The trouble was, when he put it on, he couldn't see out
Damn.
from underneath the hat. "Jack!" Jack! Suddenly, Jack realized that it wasn't Mr. Daydream saying his name. It was his teacher. And Jack wasn't in the Wild West. He was sitting at his school desk. Jack, said the teacher again, you've been daydreaming. It was true. He had. Or had he?
Cute, cute. How long is this next one? A second longer. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, so 9 more until we get to the Mr. and Little Miss series. But let's see. What time is it? I think I want a couple more, I think. Actually, I'm kind of tired, so I should probably sleep, but... How many was that? Oh, that was 8. Okay. I think I can watch maybe 2 more, and then that'll be it. No, actually, this to last that long. Damn! Oh. Mr. Jelly? Is that what his name is? Yeah, this might be the last episode. I'm gonna be sleepy.
Poor Mr. Jelly was frightened of everything and anything. At the slightest little thing, he would quiver and tremble and shake, turn to jelly. So it's not really surprising to find that Mr. Jelly lives as far away from anybody as he can. In the middle of a wood, miles and miles from anywhere. This story begins one morning when Mr. Jelly was asleep. It was a beautiful autumn morning. The sun was shining, the leaves on the trees had turned to a glorious red, and the wind stirred gently in the treetops. A single leaf fell gently from the tree right outside Mr. Jelly's house and quietly brushed against his bedroom window as it fell. Mr. Jelly woke with a start. What? What's that terrible noise? Oh, heaven, the house is falling down. It's an earthquake. It's the end of the world. Oh!
What the fuck?
He hid under the bedclothes. Trembled with fright.
That's my
After
brain
an hour, by
sometimes.
which
Just...
time he realized. The house is falling down. It's an earthquake. It's the end of the world. Oh! He hid under the bedclothes.
I love this already. Oh my
After an
god.
hour, by which time he realized that his house wasn't falling down and that there wasn't an earthquake and the world wasn't coming. Mr. Jelly peeped out from under the bedclothes. Phew. Oh, thank goodness for that. And he got up and went downstairs to make his breakfast. After breakfast, Mr. Jelly thought he'd go for a walk. He was walking through the woods which surround his house when a worm poked its head out of the ground. Morning, said the worm cheerfully.
That's a big worm.
Mr. Jelly nearly jumped out of his skin. What? Who's there? Then he saw the worm. Oh, it's a snake, a man-eating snake. Oh, I'm going to be eaten alive. He jumped up into a tree. What a performance, commented the worm, and went back into his hole. After an hour, Mr. Jelly felt brave enough to climb down from the tree and continue his walk. Eventually, he came out of the other side of the wood and into a field. It was an empty field. Or was it? In the long grass in the middle of the field, unseen by Mr. Jelly, there was a tramp enjoying a sleep in the autumn sunshine. Mr. Jelly picked his way cautiously through the grass. The tramp, fast asleep, snored. Oh, what was that? What was that? Shrieked Mr. Jelly. It's a lion. I heard it growl. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, dear me, a lion, a huge lion with enormous teeth. A huge lion with enormous sharp teeth that's going to bite me in two. A huge ferocious lion with enormous sharp teeth that's going to bite me in two, if not three. All this commotion awakened the tramp, who yawned, stretched, sat up, saw Mr. Jelly lying on the ground beside him. Oh, dear, he said. He was a kindly tramp. Oh, dearie me. And he picked up Mr. Jelly and placed him gently in the palm of his hand. Mr. Jelly came to and sat up, rubbing his eyes. And then he saw the tramp's face looking at him. Oh, disaster. Oh, he screamed. Oh, calamity. It's a giant, an ogre. Oh, gracious, he's going to have me for breakfast. My, said the tramp gently. You're a nervous little chap now, aren't you? What's your name? It's Mr. Jelly. Mr. Jelly. Stammered Mr. Jelly. Now, I used to be nervous like you, said the tramp. But I learned how not to be. Would you like me to tell you the secret? Mr. Jelly quivered and shook and said, yes, please.
What?
It's very simple, continued the tramp. All you have to do is to count up to 10. And you'll find that whatever's frightening you isn't quite so frightening after all. Then he set Mr. Jelly gently down on the grass. Now remember, he said to Mr. Jelly, count to 10. And off he went. Mr. Jelly thought that it would be a very good idea if he went home. Back across the field he went. Back through the woods he went. He was walking through the woods when he stepped on a little twig. Snap! Twig. Mr. Jelly jumped twice his own height in terror. What's that? He shrieked.
Oh, he's just so afraid.
It's a crocodile hiding in the bushes, snapping its teeth. Oh, disaster! Then he stopped, took a deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, he said. And he saw that what had gone snap was a twig, a severe twig.
There you go, buddy. Relax.
Mr. Jelly had almost reached his house when a leaf drifted gently down from a tree on top of him. Help! Help! Police! Murder! He screamed. I'm being kidnapped! It's ruffians with guns! They're going to... And then he stopped. He took a deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then he saw that what had fallen on him...
Good job, dude.
Nothing but a leaf. A stupid red leaf.
I was like, I was not expecting him to say stupid.
He said out loud in wonderment. And you know, it did. He never shrieks or shouts or screams or quivers or shakes or trembles anymore. In fact, he's become quite firm. And he never hides under the bedclothes. Well, not very often, anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That was so good. These teach some valuable life lessons, I've noticed. All from Mrs. It had a little S. That's so cute. Anyways. Everybody, that is actually going to be it for today. Or tonight, I guess. I am very sleepy. And, I think I'm going to continue this tomorrow night. So, how far are we get? Okay. We'll do another 9 episodes tomorrow night. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me. I don't know if I'm still gonna do a highlight, because, like, this seems like a lot of editing. But, I will come up with something. But, yeah, Thanks so much for watching the live stream. If you are watching the VOD, thank you as well. And yeah, that is it from me, everybody. Bye-bye.